We implemented the Let's Get Real framework in our organisation through a number of ways. First off, we wanted to really see whether our vision statement and philosophy and our values actually aligned with it. The frame is really useful, and especially for Wellink, because we're a strengths-based recovery oriented organisation, and this is exactly what Let's Get Real was all about. The real useful thing about it was we used it a lot to identify gaps and things in our organisation, and also to confirm that some of the things that we were doing was actually right, spot on target. The Let's Get Real framework is really awesome because you can take pieces that you need for your organisation and adapt them to the style that your organisation can use, and I believe that any organisation would be able to do this. The Let's Get Real tools really enable us to enhance our workforce, to build up their skills so that they can provide the best services out there for us. The tools of the Let's Get Real framework are really useful for two ways. One, because we've got the team planning tool, which was a really good way of identifying skill and training development within our workforce. The other tool that we used was the human resources tool, and the benefit of that was that actually supports us to hire staff in a way that align with the Let's Get Real. And so with those two things, you get a full flow-through effect with your organisation. There's a few initiatives that we've put in place around the Let's Get Real framework. The main one was around developing a training calendar to really upskill our staff so that some of those gaps were filled. The other thing that was really good was that getting our HR processes so that actually our recruitment systems were getting far more developed. They actually pull in a whole lot of the visions and values, and they do it in a way that is really easy to understand. The Let's Get Real framework allows us to tag in a whole lot of learning modules to help us to upskill our staff. What we found really good about this process was that it identified a whole lot of key areas across our services. So we actually did self-assessments for every single service rather than the organisation as a whole. So what it informed us of was that we could actually then put things in place and use those learning modules to develop the skills of those in those areas that were lacking. Our team utilised the team assessment tool, the self-assessment tool. What we did was we actually had a two-stage procedure. The first stage was that we had all our managers of all the services come together and do a workshop around where they felt that their teams were at. Let's Get Real helped us to identify some of the gaps that we had in our organisation, and what that allowed us to do was then develop and utilise some of the tools and templates that they had to fill some of those gaps really quickly and easily. Some of the positive impacts that Let's Get Real has had on staff is mainly around the learning modules. Staff have been able to work through it at their own pace and self-directed and develop their skills. Let's Get Real is not just about the framework. What we had at Wellink was we had a whole lot of people that surrounded us with their values and attitudes, which is part of what Let's Get Real identify as being really key. It was those people around us that actually helped us shape the implementation and helped us get Let's Get Real moving, and that's what it should always be about. It should always be about people. As all frameworks have, we run into challenges sometimes. Wellink is quite a reasonably large organisation. We have quite a lot of staff members and also people using our services. Some of the challenges that we faced was buy-in from staff, so it feels like it's a lot of extra work. But when you actually get down to the nuts and bolts of it, the Let's Get Real framework has done a lot of that work for you, and it's about you aligning your processes to it rather than implementing Let's Get Real into your service. All the way throughout the implementation process, we had people all around us from the Ministry of Health and Te Pou who are assisting us every step of the way to get this implemented through our organisation. One amazing outcome from doing this process was when we were sitting down with all the team managers, all in the same room. We had people from our senior management team there, and everybody was going through it at the same time. Everyone was discussing it with each other, and everyone was talking about the same things and identifying different gaps that different people had. What that really allowed us to do was tailor-make it for our services and our organisations, and for those team managers to really be able to deliver that.